and love myself, and you give power and influence to the wrong people, look how it turns out. You have to hype yourself up and nobody else on the external is hyping you up. You have Hello and welcome back to Ascension with V. I am your host, Stashia Jeanette, aka V, and today I'm just going to talk to you about something that every time I go through something that is of relevance, that is of huge importance, I try to document it in the moment because it's as fresh and as real and authentic as it can possibly get in the moment. So I'm documenting this, and it's about setting boundaries. And next month, the beginning in 5 days, when I'm recording this, in 5 days we have the Cancer super full moon. And with the Cancer super full moon, it's really focusing around the home and the ways that you're giving and the way that you're receiving, and having to take a look at whether or not you are over giving and whether you are pouring from an empty cup because you're not getting poured back into in the same way and manner in which you need to be in order to feel fulfilled and rejuvenated and wholesome and good, right? So the Cancer super full moon is really asking us to kind of take inventory. And here we are also coming into the new year where you're kind of going through the list of the inventory of what is and is not in alignment, what has been out of alignment, where things are no longer beneficial for you, or where things have never been beneficial for you. So it's very much a well-oiled symbiotic machine that we're kind of coming into currently at this time, leading into the new year. Personally, for me, over the last 2 months, around the last 2 months, I've had a lot of opportunities, a lot of situations where I have had to assert myself, where I've had to, this very Seven of Wands energy of having to, stand my ground and keep the staff, in front of me, and defend my position on things with people in all walks of life in my life across the board right now. And it's interesting. It's been an emotional roller coaster. It's been very difficult to have to assert myself in ways that I didn't think that I would ever have to. And not only that, but like the broader picture, the zoomed out picture of how people, places, and things were manipulating me, and essentially just kind of taking my kindness for weakness, right? So it's never fun when you have the culmination of things from your past kind of resurface to show you in a new light, from a healed perspective, a healed, zoomed out vision of just where and with whom you have had no boundaries, and you have been overgiving, or you've been overpouring, and it's not been reciprocated, right? Or whether your kindness had been taken for weakness, or whether, your kindness, people were taking your kindness for being naive or just being a fool, or you know what I mean? And also where you did not recognize and know your worth, your value, and what you brought to the table, and how big of a blessing that you truly are and were to people, places, and things that you gave your all to and you did not get back equally. So this has been, again, over the last 2 months for me, a heavy hitting topic factor that I've really sat down and had to introspect and analyze on and get right within myself. First, always going through the phase of acceptance, accepting the parts of yourself that you did not have strong boundaries on, or you had no boundaries on whatsoever, and acknowledging that for what it is, acknowledging where you have allowed others to take advantage of you, and acknowledging where the lines of being helpful and compassionate and empathetic for others bleeds over into being taken advantage of, right? And so this is the point. This is the time with this Cancer super full moon that is really being you're really being asked, everyone across the board, with me having my moon in Cancer moon, it's hit me doubly, heavy, heavy, heavy time. But everyone across the board is being asked to revisit where they are over giving, over nurturing, over carrying the responsibilities, be it emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever the case, for other people, overcompensating for other people's shortcomings, whether it's their shortcomings on their emotional side, if it's you trying to hold everything together, overhold everything together for others' well being, for the peace of others, for the mental stability and sake for others. Where have you been overdoing this to the point of where it's exhausting and draining you? These are the times that you have to look at this and where you have to hand stuff back to people and allow people to go through what it is that they need to go through on their own and to experience the lessons that they came here to experience on their own without you stepping in front of them as the guard, right? Without you coming in as the rescuer, as the savior, as the martyr to lighten the burden for others, but while taking the burden on for yourself and compromising yourself and well-being for the sake of others over and over and over and over and over again. It is depleting you, is leaving you drained, it's leaving you susceptible to a lot of other things. Your health takes a burden, takes the brunt of it when you are not giving yourself time to bounce back, to nurture, to rest, to allow your nervous system to rest because you're too busy overgiving, overcompensating, over analyzing, over playing the guard for other people's emotions, for other people's mental and physical and spiritual well-being. Right? You've got to stop doing this thing of being the one that holds it all together because it's taking a toll on you. So this new year, this 2026 that we're stepping into, it is about you taking your power back, you taking your energy back and fulfilling your needs first. That is your emotional needs, that is your physical needs, that is your spiritual needs, that is your mental needs. When you do not have the emotional or mental or spiritual or physical capacity to hold things together or to show up for other people, you have got to tell them, I do not have the bandwidth to do so, to hold this conversation, to be present with you at this time. I need to redact. I need to refresh myself. I need to take a step back and I need to allow myself to rejuvenate and give to myself before I'm able to show up fully and capable for you. Right, because that's what you've not been doing. You've not been allowing yourself the time to bounce back without being there intervening for other people's lessons. Other people are here to experience the fullness of their soul's contracts, the fullness of life, the fullness of what they have agreed to and signed up here to experience, whether that is on the good side and whether that is on the bad side. You've got to allow people to live out their dharma and their soul contracts. You have to allow people to experience what they came here to experience across the spectrum, good, bad, and in between. When you see something getting ready to happen in someone's world, it's a beautiful thing for you to have the foresight and for you to know when something is wrong or is about to be wrong with someone else, but it is not your duty to intervene in their life's lessons. It is not your duty to continue to carry the burden and the weight of their emotional, mental, spiritual, or physical obstacles or drains that they're going through. It's what your job and responsibility is. And let me say, it was never your responsibility, but you have been doing it your entire incarnation. And so now your responsibility, 2026 and beyond, is to take care of you first. Because if you are not okay, everyone and everything else is not okay. I will say it again, take care of you first. Because if you are not okay, everything and everyone else falls as a result. Please take care of yourself. Please keep the boundaries up. When you are not feeling it, when you're depleted, when you're exhausted, when you're tired, you need to excuse yourself without explanation, without the guilt, without feeling bad for what may happen or how others may feel, for you protecting yourself and your energy and your well being before others, because they don't care about taking how they're caring about your well-being first has affected you. You don't owe an explanation for why you are not available for somebody's emotional outburst or for somebody's physical lesson that they need to learn, for you not being there for them, for you telling people, I ain't got it. I don't have it. I don't have it to give to you anymore. I don't have the emotional, mental, or spiritual or physical bandwidth to do this with you at this moment. You don't owe anyone that. And this super full moon in Cancer is really, really highlighting where you need to start establishing this in your life going forward in this new year. There is so much that you are meant to bring, and there's so much that you're meant to experience, but you can't do these things if you don't have the energy to do. We need you at your best. We need you at your highest. We need you at your most potent. And you cannot get to that point if you're constantly being drugged down by allowing yourself to step in for every person that you meet that's going through a crisis. You step in when you have the capability. You step in when you are called and guided by God's source universe to do so only. When it feels like you're being called to do that thing, not because you feel like you should, not because you feel like it feels too uncomfortable to allow someone else to go through their own experience by themselves. You have got to get comfortable with the uncomfortability of saying no, of putting yourself first, because that is your greatest lesson 2026 and beyond. It's you. It's you needing to be able to receive all that you've been giving out. It's you needing to be able to accept all that you have been giving out and not getting an ounce back. Now is the time for you to receive that, but you've got to be okay with that. You've got to step out of give mode first. There's a lot that God source universe wants to bless you with, that wants to bring you. There are so many gifts and opportunities and abundance that's waiting to be given and bestowed upon you, but you have got to step into receptive mode. And in order to step into receptive mode, you've got to step out of give and do. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself and your nervous system to reset, because you deserve it. You have spent your entire incarnation fighting battles and carrying burdens, weights, and responsibilities, holding shackles and chains that were never yours to begin with. You have been done wrong in this incarnation because you have such a kind soul and heart. You've been taken advantage of a lot, but that stops now. You fall back frequently on this thing of you're doing it because you signed up for it. And yes, you signed up for a lot, but there's a lot that got thrown into the mix that you did not sign up for this incarnation. And the burdens of others is one of them. Allow yourself to receive this new year, because it's coming for you, and it would be a lot easier if you embraced it with open arms. But in order for you to receive, you have to step out of overdue, of martyr, of savior complex and mode. You are worthy of receiving the amount of love and blessings that you have been giving to others your entire incarnation, not just this incarnation, but every incarnation prior to. So allow yourself to receive. Keep your boundaries. And if you don't have the emotional, mental, spiritual, physical bandwidth or capacity to show up for someone or something, then say it and be done. Walk away and leave it there. You don't owe anyone an explanation as to why you aren't showing up for them any longer, because they don't give you an explanation for why they don't show up for you. That's what I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful. Happy New Year.